Hi, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today we're going to talk about if you've made the decision. If you haven't made your decision, go back and watch yesterday's video. Go back and watch that video. It's paramount to moving forward. And if you have made a decision, what next? If you've made the decision to heal, to no longer be a sick person, what next? So the first thing that we need to do is focus on unlearning our patterns, right? Unlearning all those patterns and that we have in our body that tell us, I'm weak, I'm sick, I can't do it, whatever. All these patterns, all these associations, all these ways that we're living our life as a sick person need to be changed. So whatever you're doing needs to be changed. So we have to break those patterns and unlearn them. So there's a lot of talk sometimes about breaking your patterns, and people go like, if you get up on the right side of the bed, get up on the left side of the bed. Or if you brush your teeth with your right hand, then brush it with your left hand. If you normally, do this eat this for breakfast, eat that for breakfast. And yes, that has some power to it. There's some change happening there, mixing things up, changing things up. But that's not really breaking your deep patterns of illness. So how do we break our deep patterns of illness? One of the first things that you can do is when your illness calls to you to look at it, to comfort it, to coddle it, to cry, to sit down, to wallow, to take an action, whatever it is asking you to do, the symptoms, not your emotions, but your symptoms. Whatever your symptoms are asking you to do for them is something you need to stop doing, right? Instead, you can ask, what's your emotional world need? And you can fill it up. So this kind of goes with TMS work, and those of you that aren't familiar with TMS work means you no longer focus on the physical, but you focus on the emotions instead. So rather than focusing on the pounding headache and what you can do to soothe it, you focus on what are your emotions telling you, what is happening internally, and how can you solve that problem? How can you help your inner world feel less stress, more calm, more safe, more healed, right? So this is what they call doing that kind of inner work surrounding TMS. And what I'm saying, that is good. That is something that you can do, but not just that. Sometimes it means you need to do the opposite of what your body is trying to get you to do. Like, I need you to stay inside and go to bed and shelter and lie down. You need to be strong enough to break that pattern by doing the opposite. So I'm not saying you ignore your emotions, but I am saying you ignore that voice in your head that says, I need to climb into bed and isolate right now. You push through that and you say, no, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to break that pattern right here, right now, in real time. Or if your body says, oh my God, I'm so toxic, I need an enema or I'm going to die. You say, no, you're not. And you're not getting one. We'll look at your emotional world, we'll look at our emotions, and we'll get out there and live anyway. What can we do anyway? So you have to know the direction that you're going in, what you want. How can you best get back to normal? So you think of the old person that you used to be. The best parts of the old parts of you. There's a lot of people out there who say, I wish I could go back, right? I wish I could go back to when. So think about that time, to when I was vibrant, strong, happy, felt good, right, safe, like whatever it is. There's these qualities, moments in time, these wonderful things, to when my life looked like this, to when I used to do this, to when I used to be able to do that. A lot of us love looking back because we remember our soul, who we used to be without limitations, and all the wonderful friends we had, and all the things that we used to do, and all the adventures that we used to have before this, before the illness, before the suffering, before the chronic pain. And then I want you to look to your future self, all those things that you long, like, if only my life would be better, I could do this, right? Like, my life would look like this. And you envision your future life, like all the places you would go and the people you would be with and all the money you would have and all the trips you would take and all the amazing family and friends would be around you and what would be in your life, right? What would be in your life? So you marry the best of both of those. The real you from the past who used to do and be and feel those amazing things, and the you that you want in the future. And you see jobs, family, friends, travel, career, money, like social life, kids, family, date nights, whatever it is that you see from your past that you miss and from your future that you want. And that's the goal. You need to get to that person. So if that person has a job, you better get on the horn and start to find a job. If that person has friends, you better start to make friends. If that person loved to travel or loved to run or exercise or dance or do something that you missed from the past, that person better start to do that again. Right? So it's really saying no to the patterns that keep us safe and the patterns that keep us stuck. So when our mind says, sit down and don't do it, don't push yourself, you're not ready, you can't do that, don't eat that, don't go there, like you're not ready, you can't do it. Like when your symptoms flare and your body starts to demand attention so that you can't do those other things, that is exactly when you need to break the habit. You need to be strong. You need to say, no, we are that person now. We are going to break this pattern. We are going to do that thing. We are going to make the change right here when it's the hardest. So it's not a matter of just making random changes, right? Like getting up on the wrong side of the bed and brushing your teeth with the opposite hand and, making these changes that don't mean anything. It's about making changes that mean something, right? Like getting out of bed and going for a walk. If you want to be a person who exercises, but you can't because of your illness, that's the change that you need to make. If you are stuck at home thinking I can't work because my symptoms are so random and I would never be like valuable enough and I'm unpredictable and all this stuff, then that's exactly what you need to do. Find your self-worth, get a job, prove yourself wrong, right? So sometimes you need to start slow, yes, but starting off slow is like ripping off a Band-Aid. Sometimes you just need to do these things. So whatever your mind tells you can't do, you need to do. And that is the change. That is the pattern. That is the habit and that we need to break. That's the rewiring that needs to be done. It's the part that tells you can't, and we need to rewire it. And sometimes we need to practice it a few times in order for our body to get it. And sometimes we can just override it and say, I'm changing it right now. So it's about making these changes, even when we think we can't. Like, oh, but I am so sick today. I'm in so much pain today. I'm so toxic today. I'm so whatever it is today. I don't want to. I can't play with my kids. I can't go on that walk. I can't go visit people or see people right now. I just can't do it today. Just not today. I'll do it when I'm better. So that's when you need to do it. I know it sucks. I know it hurts. But if you do it every time and you don't give yourself the excuses anymore, like the way out, because this is about going through. Change is about going through. So every time you take the way out, sometimes that's kind for yourself. Sometimes everybody needs a way out, but it's about going through, finding a way to feel safe and go through. Usually taking a way out is kind because it's keeping yourself safe. And like, who doesn't want to feel safe? All the body wants to do is feel safe, right? And giving yourself out feels good because it's the safest choice for you. It just feels the safest thing to do, given your symptoms or given the circumstances. But we need to find a way that we can feel safe and change that pattern, right? And still go through. Because we'll never change if we keep doing the same thing. So we need to make these changes. And making these changes means that we need to remind ourselves and we need to be able to feel safe as we do them. And we need to have like a strong enough reason to say, I'm going to do it anyway. Because I am going to be safe and I'm okay. Whether I'm home on the couch in pain or whether I'm out here doing this. But I'm not going to let my life pass me by. I only get one chance at life. And I'm going to live it. And I'm not going to be a sick person anymore. I'm not going to have that mentality anymore. Home, on the couch wishing that I could be out. Feeling sorry for myself. Feeling sad that life is passing me by. Because I can go do it anyway. And even if it's the worst experience because I feel terrible, I'm doing it. And that means something. And that change is happening. And the change is rewiring your brain. right? All these little patterns that you do to keep yourself safe and that your mind tells you must do in order to keep yourself safe, those are things that we need to break, because we need to know that we're okay. We're not sick. We don't need protection from the world anymore. We're not going to live as a sick person anymore. So therefore, we can just go out and do everything a healthy person can do, and sometimes that means taking a risk, right? So doing all these things, breaking these patterns, and doing new things instead, if we're only doing them in a half-hearted way, meaning we're going through the motions, we're like, yeah, I'm supposed to get out, yeah, I'm supposed to make this decision, I'm supposed to go through this anyways, but all the time we're like in our heads and we're like talking to our symptoms and we're like fighting ourselves and we're like, that is like a half-hearted way of breaking. It's not really breaking a pattern. So although you're intending to do good by going through with something that maybe you don't want to do, or you feel like you should do, but you don't think you can do, but you're doing it anyway, but you haven't really changed your mindset, and your mind is still telling you, I wish I was at home the whole time. And like you're going through this in a half-hearted way, and who can blame you, right? Symptoms suck. So, but doing it in a half-hearted way isn't going to change the patterns. So we need to have this place inside us that says, I am no longer sick. I am no longer living that way. We need to want to make this decision. So if you don't actually want, okay, here's the thing. If you picture your future with lots of friends, but right now you're so sick and you don't actually want to break the habit of isolating at home and like going out and risking it and being social, there's like a disconnect there. What do you really want? What do you really want your future to look like? And you need to let that fuel you. I want to feel free. I want to have friends. I want to be social. Then you need to go through the motions, not half-heartedly. Like, oh, I'm doing it. Why isn't it working? But you need to go through it with like that fuel behind you that says, this is who I really am. I am a person who can be social. My future is bright. Like, I'm doing this because that's what I want. Or like if you see your future, you see yourself having a job or owning a business or having this career or doing a hobby or having a passion, but you just don't feel well enough to do it or start it or try or go out and start the business or get the job or whatever it is, study, go back to school, whatever it is, you just don't feel well enough. But you really want it. That's what you see your healed future as. That's what you wanted to be in the past, and you know that you want that. Just going through and going through and trying to do it without any heart in it, like half-heartedly, will not get you there. It's more this desire. It's more like, that's what I want for my future. That's who I am. That's who I see myself. That is who I know I can become. And you need to take steps towards doing that. Breaking the party that says, no, you can't. Stay here, right? It's not a force. It's not a force against my will and you hating it the whole way along, because that's not healing. It's like really understanding that the pattern that you have isn't getting you to where you want to go. And so every step that you take getting you to where you want to go, like you can feel good about, you can feel proud of, you can be happy because you know it's getting you to where you want to be. So you have to do it with this mindset, like, I'm doing this for me. I'm choosing to do this. You have to really choose to do this, not do it because somebody says that you should, or you think that it might heal you in some way. Like, you don't do things just because you think they will heal you. You do things because they're taking you to the life that you want to live. And that's the path to get there, right? Like, if you want to be a bodybuilder, then you have to go to the gym. If that's your dream, like, say you weren't sick and you had a child who wanted to be a bodybuilder or something, and it was their dream, but they never went to the gym, you would be like, don't you see the path to getting there is like to getting up, to doing the hard work, to going, to making this commitment to yourself, to getting to the gym, to hiring a trainer, to doing the workouts, whether you want to or not, to put in the effort, even on those hard days, even on those challenging days, because that is the path to get where you want to go. Or if you have somebody who wants to start their own business, but they're not actually starting it, or to be a lawyer, but they're just not enrolling in law school. You have to really see that you're doing it because this is the path. This is the path. It's the only path, is to go through it, to build the knowledge, to have the experiences, to like go through what you need to go through, even on the hard times. Like people who want to be a lawyer and they're going to law school, like they don't love going to law school every day and doing all that homework, but they know they need to do that because they're driven to get where they want to go. And they see it, and they see that future, like when they can graduate and become a lawyer and whatever they want to do. Like, that's not me, but I'm just saying, you have to take the steps. So when you're doing these things, you just have to know like what you want and where you really, truly see your life. Do you see yourself right back at work? Do you see yourself owning a business? Do you see yourself invested in like a hobby that you love, like writing or dancing or golfing or sports or water surfing, or like, do you see yourself like having family and friends or moving or building a new house or I don't know, traveling around the world? What do you see yourself? Then you have to do the work to get there. Like everything has a path. So you're not just doing these things and putting yourself in these situations and like saying, oh, somehow this is going to heal me. Because that's not, like, putting yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in and just forcing yourself through is not going to heal you. That is not healing. That's not the healing. The healing comes from saying, I want to get to this spot in my life, and I know this is the path that it takes. Like, if I want a job, then I'm going to have to work to get one, right? Or if I want to be a lawyer, I'm going to have to go through law school. If I want to be a bodybuilder, I'm going to have to go to the gym and lift the weights and put in the sweat, right? So what we do is we have to take the path. The path's not always easy. The path's not always fun. The path isn't magical and filled with all these, like, like doing a homework assignment is not going to make you a lawyer, but it's part of the process. So part of the process for you is figuring out that, like, this is the life I want. This is who I used to be. These are the dreams. This is what felt good to me. This is like how I saw myself, my life before this illness, before this happened. This was the best of me. This part I want to go back to. So you want to resurrect all those parts of you that you wish you could have again. And then you also want to look to the future and be like, this is the life I long for, the life I dream of, the life I wish if I wasn't sick I would seize. And then you need to find a way to get those, right? And there's a path. And you can only do it by doing it, by breaking all the patterns that say, no, I'm not strong enough, I'm not ready, I can't do it, I'm not good, I'm too sick, I'm too that. Like, sometimes you might just be too sick to go out, but that is not the point. Like, even a bodybuilder sometimes can't go to the gym because, they're just not feeling well enough. But this is a pattern that you've gotten into, right? It's a pattern that says, I can never do that because I'm too sick. You're always the one who's letting that be the reason why you can't. And I'm suggesting that you need to find out where you want to go, what you want your life to be, who you are, what you can become. And then you do these things, not to punish yourself, not to somehow have this magical healing bestowed upon you by doing them, but because that's the path that you need to take to get where you want to go. And you're willing to change. You're willing to do the hard work to change, whatever it is, to get to the growth that will eventually come by taking a path, right? By changing those patterns, by not listening to those voices anymore that say, oh, I can't, or I'm not good enough, or I'm too sick, or I'm, the patterns that hold you back, the patterns that try to keep you safe, those patterns that long to be safe and comforted and sheltered and that just want to be coddled and tucked in and taken care of. But that's not really who you want to be. So you're going to have to change them. And every time you do, you're going to have to feel proud of yourself. You're going to have to stand firm in the decision, like, this is where I'm going. I'm not going to stay there anymore. Yes, it's safer there. Yes, it feels better there. Yes, there's a lot of good things about staying there. I don't have to push myself beyond what I can physically or mentally cope with doing right now. But you will never go because the body loves being safe, and it's put you in this safe little bubble, and even that's not safe enough. And it's not helping you because your pain is still there and everything is still there. So you need to go and live your life and create your life. And that just means I'm breaking all the patterns, the negative patterns that hold you back from being who you truly and really can be and having the life that you want. And eventually, not tomorrow, just like a bodybuilder doesn't become a bodybuilder the next day after they decide, and that person who goes to law school doesn't become a lawyer the very next day after they, take a test or pass one course. But eventually, if you're going in that direction and you're doing the hard work and you know where you want to go and you are committed to changing what you need to do and doing the work and not saying, well, it's too hard, this course is too hard, so I'm not going to take it. Second year's too hard, so I'm just going to bow out. Or the bodybuilder that says, oh, I'm really comfortable at this weight, I don't think I can push to the next level. Right? They're not going to progress. Just like you are not going to progress. You have to progress. And yeah, you're not going to walk into the gym and lift your goal weight tomorrow, but you got to start. You got to go on the path. You got to know where you're going, and you got to train your mind to say, I can do this. Maybe I can't do all of it, but I can do this, right? And you will build your way into that life that you want by reversing patterns that are keeping you stuck and by pushing yourself to go forward. Not because you have to, not because it's going to make you heal, but because it's what you want. And that you don't want to be here anymore. And you're not going to stay here. It's by saying, I'm not staying here anymore. Right? This isn't my life. I'm not the fat person on the couch. I'm the bodybuilder on stage. I'm not the high school dropout anymore. I'm the person who went back and got the law degree. Right? There's a big disconnect into that person and the one that you want to be. And the only way through is by first challenging your mindset, challenging your mind, drawing a line in the sand, saying I'm not that person anymore. I am healed. I am better. I am no longer that person. I've made a decision and I'm going forward. Yeah, the decision's going to be hard along the way. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to come to you in a straight line with ease, and it's not how people get great things. They work at it, but they know they can do it. So you gotta believe in yourself. This video is going long, so I'm gonna end it here. But believe in yourself. Challenge the parts of your mind that say you can't and say I am. I will. I'm going to anyway. And go forward. Go forward. You can do this. We're gonna do it together.